I am one to put my hand up and admit when I'm wrong. When there was fanfare over the return of LSWR T3 number 563 to Steam back in 2023, the engine didn't seem like anything special to me. Yes, it hadn't been steamed in 75 years. Yes, no one alive today knew how to drive the thing. Yes, it had been on stage to Canada, but I still didn't see the appeal. Design-wise, it didn't look aesthetically proportioned to me. The running board seemed too long in front of the boiler, and the front bogie and coupling rod seemed unnecessarily long too. But after a visit to the Swanage Railway and after seeing 563 in action, I became enlightened. There was an elegance to the engine in motion I couldn't appreciate from a picture on a flat screen. The oblong nature even seemed endearing, and seeing something not driven in 2 to 3 generations move reaffirmed the historic charm of the engine. Now converted, I waited to see a model of the engine come along. All the fuss over the engine made it a slam dunk for a manufacturer to produce. That said, I wasn't expecting EFE Rail to be the ones to go for it. Bachmann, Hornby, maybe even Rapido seemed like more obvious candidates. Anyhow, EFE Rail shared their specs and asked for just shy of £200. At the retailers, prices were more reasonable at £169.95, but I placed my order with the Swanage Railway themselves for the full amount. This included an exclusive receipt of the model before release to general retailers, with the proceeds going to the railway to help maintain the running and future of the real engine. I always go for that option wherever it's available. EFE Rail's 563 landed with me in mid-April, before general retailer sales are fulfilled at the start of May. I've not reviewed an EFE Rail engine before, but I do have some knowledge and experience with their J94. The T3 came in a familiar, long box, and the preserved 563 has the product code E85030. The box says this is a Kerno Model Railway Centre licensed product distributed by Bachmann. I didn't know they had any involvement before now. Inside the box is one accessory bag containing LSWR discs and diamond head signals, as well as some very fine and exquisite etched number plates. A second accessory bag includes a set of wheels with traction tyres on them, some rear bogie wheel splashers and piston tail rods, as well as a front coupler to fit. I like that the traction tyres aren't fitted as standard. We'll see how the Loco performs without them. The information booklet covers the history of the class and preserved engine, as well as how to change the wheel set, fit front guard irons, bogie wheel splashers and that front coupling. The tender houses the next 18-pin DCC socket and twin speakers. Onto the engine itself, and this is probably the best looking EFE Rail locomotive I have ever seen. They have done a truly standout job of capturing the shape, livery and curving decoration as seen on the real engine. The tender framing captures some very thin, fine lining for example, and has crisp lettering on top. The wheel splashers look exceptional, with one glaring and debated drawback. The split in parts between splashers is really noticeable up close, despite the pretty much perfect alignment. It distracts the eye away from the neatly printed number plate and crest. It is a shame a way around this couldn't have been thought up. The misaligned boiler banding is accurate to the real engine I believe, so that at least gets a pass. All round though, the engine looks fantastic. 563 has the Adams boiler, chimney and smokebox door, which is but one combination in the tooling suite. And EFE Rail have gone all out with the metal to make these engines hefty and robust. The chassis, boiler, running plate, front splashers and footsteps are all die-cast metal. On top of that, there are additional metal detail parts including etched step treads, handrails and handrail knobs. That is a lot of metal compared to other new models out there for this price point, such as the Rapido 01. However, this hasn't stopped some quality issues escaping my notice. There is some visible glue on one of the wheel splashers, as well as scuff marks to the running board. Also, I have no idea what is going wrong with that handrail. It is not straight in the slightest. Brake rigging comes pre-fitted and looks excellent behind the driving wheels. There are plenty of separately fitted parts that do look good, such as the buffer beam side chains, sprung metal buffers, lamp irons, smokebox door dart, vacuum pipes and brakes. 563 also has a double whistle, which I don't think any of my other engines have. The whistles are positioned just in front of the well-fitted glazing, through which we can see cab controls. Here's a closer look, and it looks quite snug. It's not the best cab interior I've ever seen. The detailing is a bit coarse and basic compared to the likes of Rapido, but it is still serviceable. Behind the textured firebox are twin LEDs that operate on both DC and DCC. Further back, the tender top features a water tank cap, coal rails, toolbox, and a coal load that looks better than those seen on my Accurascale pannier recently. It's really not bad, all things considered. The tender's rear buffer beam is quite sparsely detailed compared to the front, but we do have slots for accessories to fit and also a NEM coupler fitted. There's a few other observations I made. The dome fits and joins are better than the O1, if not perfect. There's still a clear separation between the parts here. The inside motion is nicely modelled. Again, not the most striking in the modern market, but certainly commendable enough. Underneath we can see a few more insights into the design of the mechanism. Only the rear driving axle is driven, and the model deploys wiper pickups on the driving wheels. There is electrical pickup here and on the tender wheels, which is good for conductivity reliability. Metal bearings are also fitted to each driving and bogie axle, as well as all the tender axles. EFE Rail have also opted for a similar snap-together drawbar like those seen on Rapido and Hornby's recent releases. At least the Loco and tender do not need separating to be boxed and put away. They arrived already joined together. On the scales, the T3 came in at 288 grams, which is 44 grams heavier than Rapido's 01. The wheel gauging came in at mostly between 14.4 and 14.6 millimeters, but was a bit tricky to measure around some of the brake rigging. Still, it's fine and what you'd expect. Overall, we've got a nicely dressed, nicely crafted, mostly metal engine, but despite this robust design, there were some quality issues to note. It's time to get 563 running on the layout and see how it runs. Straight out of the box, the T3 starts up nice and slowly thanks to a 5-pole motor and flywheel. It's not the quietest new model I've received recently, but I can get a good range of realistic speeds out of it without the need to go above 50% on the controller. Now for the points test. Even at slow speeds, the T3 can handle my streamline Inselfrug points without stuttering. This holds true even in reverse. Baseboard joins are also handled with ease. Now for a test run around the layout. The T3 passes cleanly over the level crossings, and jolts a bit over the curved board join, but passes. You can see that firebox LED working bright and clearly thanks to the open cab. The second set of curved joins and crossings don't flummox the engine, making for a clean run. The T3 is a nice, slow runner, even over points and baseboard joins. EFE Rail even state in the product description that the model is geared for prototypical running speeds and haulage, so none of this should really be that surprising. I, though, have the perfect way to test this, as you may know by now, which is to send the engine on a power lap around the board at 50% speed on the controller. It's time to hand the T3 over to my train racing driver. Some say that his favourite breakfast is charcoal toast, and that he once interrupted a rail accident investigation by singing RAIB using a melody by the Village People. All we know is he's called the Grunt. There he is, baffled by the controls as nobody alive had driven this engine until 2023. The Grunt, therefore, has no idea what he's doing. Pretty standard stuff then. And off they go, doing the route again but at pace. They head round onto the second board and zoom on down Deltix Pass. The Grunt holds his footing in that open cab as they head round the final curve towards the station and across the line. The EFE Rail T3 did the lap in 22.22 seconds. That's nice and clean, which is a scale speed of 45.4 miles an hour. I read somewhere that these engines had a real-life top speed of around 80 miles an hour, so that is spot on for prototypical running speeds. With a load, that would be about 40 miles an hour at 50% speed, so the full beans is close to the real express running speed of 80 miles an hour. EFE Rail then have put their money where their mouth is and got this pretty much spot on. Kudos to them. Time to test the couplings. For this, I've put together a Swanage-themed passenger train, comprising a Southern Railways livery Maunsell coach, a British Railways Southern Region livery Maunsell coach, and the enigmatic Pullman observation coach, all by Hornby. Nice and slow. Maybe too slow. Let's try again with a bit more oomph. Nah, that didn't do it. Let's just check the position. Much better. The couplings are holding, so we're good to go. And off 563 goes with a prototypical Swanage-themed passenger train to boot. This engine looks fabulous, even on my rather fantastical layout, so it'll look right at home on anybody's model railway. The motor, though, is a tad on the noisy side compared to recent models I've reviewed, but as long as it runs reliably, which it is, I'm not too fussed or concerned. On to my final verdict. Decoration. This is a very well-dressed model, capturing the likeness of the preserved engine to a finessed degree. The tampo printed decals, crests, and lettering elevate the coloration and lining, and little silver painted details give it an ordained flair. It looks fantastic, and I am definitely happy with it. Details and features. This comes with a bucket load of them. There's lots in the accessory bags to add at the owner's discretion, plus all the separate details fitted on the model at the factory. Sure, some are not the best we've seen in the game, like the cab interior, but they are all included and executed well enough. There's not much else I could really ask to be included here. except crew figures, but you know. I'm happy with everything that did come in the T3 package. Quality. This is where I have the most gripes. I do commend EFE Rail for making so much of this model out of diecast and metal details. It is solidly built and designed, but some of the detail fitting was not up to par. There were wonky handrails, visible glue, and some scuff marks on the running board. That join between the splashes as well is also not too pleasing, even if the fittings and decoration were flush. I'm also not sure if something rubs while this runs around corners. Sometimes I heard something, sometimes I don't think I did. So there might be detail clashing with the moving parts somewhere. Had I encountered just one of these issues in isolation on this model, I'd probably be happy to overlook it. But for the price, I've seen and expected better. I'm going to knock the quality point off here due to all the above. It was not up to par with what I was hoping for. Performance. Slight noisiness and rubbing suspicions aside, this ran well under load, by itself, and over insel frog points and curved board joins. The gearing as well was spot on for the real-life engine, giving a plethora of realistic running options for different trains. A wonderful performer, I'll give it the point. And finally, onto price. I purposefully bought the more expensive way to get this model for my own personal reasons, effectively with a £30 donation to the Swanage Railway. At the general retailers for £169.95, what do I think? A tender engine model with so much metal for that price seems like excellent value, and the prototypical gearing backs this up. It's just let down by some issues with the build quality that could have easily been avoided with some more care at the factory. On balance, I think I am still happy with what I paid for this though. Those issues were minor. I managed to straighten the handrail, and didn't really think about the glue or scuffs as I had it running around the layout. I still enjoyed the model and was glad I bought it. Nothing here left me with deep regrets or disappointment about the amount I spent on it. I'm going to give it the price point. It's a sturdy, beautiful model for the money and I'm glad I have it. Overall, that's a score of 4 out of 5, making this a model I can highly recommend. On balance, that feels like a fair score. It's great in most departments, if not at the top of the game compared to other recent releases, and my issues with it are minor and unlikely to affect every model, hopefully. If you get one with no glue marks, scuffs, or bent handrails, you've got something fantastic to enjoy. So what do you think of the EFE Rail LSWR T3? It's a preserved engine I was very wrong about, but I'm glad I've come around and that I now have a model of it. If you've got yours already, let me know what it's like on your layout. And if you're waiting for the general release, hopefully this video has gotten you even more excited. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care.